Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans, you know the drill. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content that I post to the channel. Now, this video is, I was going to wait until after the black dress aired, but I just felt like maybe this was as good a time as any to talk about it. The reason I was going to wait, and the theme of this video is, whether or not Erica being killed off was a good move, like in terms of, was it done too quickly? Was it done before the character? Believe it or not, and I felt the same way about Oscar and Melissa in certain extents, but I feel like the character of Erica could have been stretched out a bit more. I mean, obviously you could tell that Erica was at the cusp of being killed off or written off of the show, because Tyler Perry did with her the same thing that was done with Melissa. Oh, we're going to relocate this character to a house and just have them stay in the house for X amount of episodes, and then they're going to be chopped off. That was Erica's character from the beginning of this season, or back in January, when David first drove her to the house and said that, hey, I bought this house for me and my wife, but she never got a chance to see it because we went through our divorce, we're going through our divorce stuff. So this was her dream house that she always wanted. I was about to put it back on the market because I'm not staying in here by myself, too big for one person, unless you stayed with me. So after that, Erica pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, Erica was not seen outside of the house. Wait, was she? Wait, did she go to the hotel to give Gia the stuff that Candace said she needed? Was that done before or after? Yeah, no, actually, I think that was the only time we saw Erica outside of David's house. I mean, not counting the times when she was legitimately outside of the house, but I mean, like, in terms of Erica in a different location. So, yeah, that was really weird. You could just tell that Erica's time was chiming down. Now, the reason I say that Erica may have been more useful on the show was the fact that, she was, and I've seen the comments on recent videos, guys. I know that Erica was not taking a pregnancy test. What was it, an ovulation test? Basically to see if she could get pregnant, like if this was the right time, hence why she was quote unquote scheming to get impregnated by David as an insurance policy. I believe that's what she was telling Rocky. But quick asterisk by that. Here's my thing with it. All right, theoretically speaking, and I've done videos on this in the past, I think that Erica believing that Candace would give her any of the money is a mistake. I mean, true, she might get some money, but not like what she thinks she'll get. Because remember, I guess you could say Gia would only get maybe 10%, if that, of whatever money that Candace, took from her. It's like, hey, I made $1,000 from this one guy. Okay, here's $100. That's it. So, and I forgot the exact, I know Chandler, Melrose, or somebody else will let me know in the comments because they remember most of this stuff sometimes better than I do. David is worth like $13-16 million, something like that. And the plan was to take that from him. And Candace wanted that. So theoretically speaking, let's say if Erica succeeded, or if Veronica what was Veronica's plan? For Candace to have Erica break David's heart. And by doing that, that means like, okay, my part of the plan has been realized. And I think she even said something about that girl being kicked on the street and killed and stuff like that. So basically Erica was a non-factor. So even after Rocky said that, I heard Candace and this woman named Veronica talking about getting rid of you, she still had the idea that she was going to get money from this. And here's another thing. Let's say if for whatever reason this plan worked, like Erica broke David's heart and, she left. Then Veronica's like, okay, since your girl did what I asked, I'll go ahead and give you the social security numbers and whatnot. So here you can take David's money, because obviously Veronica doesn't need it because she's a millionaire herself. So let's say Candace gets all the money. that doesn't mean the deal is done because Veronica still wanted to get rid of Erica. And even if, Candace got all the money and gave Erica a portion of it, I highly doubt she would get like $1 million or a couple of millions of dollars. So here's another thing. Folks. Let's say for whatever reason, this plan worked. Erica broke up with David. David is crushed. Veronica used the, numbers and whatnot and wiped all of David's accounts clean. Let's forget about what happened to the money. Let's say that Veronica keeps it or gives Candace a portion and Erica doesn't have anything. Now, Erica might say, ooh, well, I got this baby inside of me by David, so I can go back to David because he is a good man. Or I can just say that, hey, you know what? I have your baby inside of me, so you're going to pay child support and stuff. But if Veronica and Candace take all of David's money and Erica gets nothing, then Erica decides to use that baby as leverage in order to get money from David. How would that make any sense because David has no money to give her? I think her plan was flawed. She put way too much faith in Candace giving her money. So, I mean, even when she was calling, when Jim was over there talking about killing Candace, Candace wasn't even having it. So, yeah, Erica, you could just tell Tyler Perry kind of wrote himself into a corner with that. I really feel like, more could have been done with her. But there are so many questions about Erica, like the what ifs, like what if David found out the truth about Erica, would he be mad and whatnot? Because to be honest, I think the fact that she was trying to get pregnant by David in order to entrap him sort of really just spoke to the fact that she was scheming him. So maybe the fact that we got the ovulation test and whatnot so close to when she died in the explosion, maybe that was done by Tyler Perry. So in a way viewers could tell like, oh, she's an irredeemable character. Don't trust her and stuff. And I really wish the mystery would have been drawn out, like David becoming more suspicious. Like when the firemen actually came up to them after the vehicles were on fire that Veronica set, and they were sitting on the stoop, and then he recognized Erica. And yes, I was talking with Chandler about this earlier this week, and then yesterday I looked at the end credits of the episode because I didn't want to see that body again, so I kind of fast forward through everything. Brady, I forgot his last name, but the guy that walked up to David and Erica and recognized Erica, that was the same guy who was standing next to the car saying, we got a casualty. So that was the same fireman. Now, I really wish Erica was alive a bit longer because I really wish we could have had more of David's common sense kicking in, like him doing the research that Oscar told him that he should be doing for him. But David's like, no, my gut reaction. I got this. I'll handle it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know if the truth about David will ever come out. I mean, Erica will ever come out to David. I'm not going to lie. Part of me wishes that, Veronica went over to the hospital and taunted David, but I don't know if that would happen. I don't know. That would be pretty interesting, though. Like to taunt him, like, let's say that he's not dead or in a coma, but let's say he's in a state where he can't move or something like that. And, Veronica is verbally abusing him and taunting him, basically hurting him with her words, and David can't say or do anything, but we get a close-up and we see tears running down his eye. I need to write on this show, man. I'm telling you, that would be great. I would love that. It's like David wants nothing more than to put his hands around Veronica's neck and choke her like Jim did back in season 3, because, she's literally, while his body is broken from the explosion, Veronica is destroying what's left of his heart, because remember the synopsis says that on the way to being rushed to the hospital, David learns Erica's fate. So he's probably going to be crying in the darn ambulance, but then he's laying up in the hospital bed because we do see Jeffrey in there. Probably not in the next episode, but in that exclusive look we got. Oh, sorry, I had a spit bubble in my throat. That was weird. Sorry. But we saw Jeffrey in like a waiting room, and then in like the hospital room, then Justin shows his ass up there for whatever. And so we didn't see David in the exclusive look trailer, but we know David's in the hospital. Like, we don't know what his state's going to be, if he's going to be in a catatonic state, if he's going to be able to move. But I would really love for Veronica to go into the room and taunt him, because we know FBI and whatnot is outside of the room. But, she could say like, hey, I'm his wife. I just wanted to come check on him. And then, she the tone shifts. You know how it is, how she acts all nice and polite, and then she's crying and crap. But then when she opens the door and closes it, then the music goes like dun 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 dun, and then she just starts turning into the Jekyll and Hyde character. So I would really love if Tyler Perry did a scene like that, because number one, I feel like Veronica would just spill it all out, like, you know, tell that she was the one that did this. And basically, remember how after Maggie Day was shot outside of Veronica's house, and then that female detective was like had Veronica in like a interrogation room, and then David showed up, was like, "Oh, David," and then whispered in his ears like, "Yo, bitch is dead," and he was like, you could just tell by his facial expression. That could be done here. It's like Veronica doesn't outright say that I killed, but at the same time, she could just dig the knife in deeper. My gosh. I hope Tyler Perry or one of the cast members are watching this video, because I know you all filmed the stuff a year in advance, so you can't go back and do stuff. But I really hope we have a scene like that in an actual episode, because a lot of these actors can say a lot without saying anything at all. I mean, really, that scene would be so glorious. I mean, that's one of those scenes where I wouldn't mind if we have 5 to 10 minutes in that one setting with Veronica doing some dialogue, because regardless, for the most part, regardless of whatever dialogue slips out of Veronica's mouth, Angela delivers it in such a bone-chilling way that 1 minute she can have you laughing, then the next minute has you scared, and then the other second it's just like, I can't believe that cold bitch really said that. And for David not to be able to engage would just be amazing. That's just my opinion with that. But yeah, so what have we talked about before? Erica's pregnancy plan not really making sense, expecting to get part of the money that she most likely wouldn't get, probably getting killed off regardless. So aside from those things, if I'm not mistaken, you know, they pretty much killed the idea for us that Jim and Erica really met before. I'm not going to lie here, and this is just my own speculation. I think Tyler Perry probably wanted to do more with Erica's character in terms of her and Jim actually having a brief history, maybe a fling in the past, or as that one cop told Candace in the hotel, maybe Erica was one of Jim's ladies of the night, so to speak. But that never really went anywhere. I don't know if things changed script-wise, because of the fact that I really... And a lot of people saw this too. This isn't me just looking at something that wasn't there, because I've done that before, I admit. But, you know, way back during the early episodes of this season where Jim and Erica were mere seconds away from meeting each other, but Erica went into like the back or the kitchen or whatever as Jim stormed his way into the house. So those two almost met early on in January. And we're like, oh man, I bet those two met up. I remember doing videos about it. I remember talking with other people about it. But then when those two actually saw each other in broad daylight, I don't really count the night that Jim burst into the house cussing up a storm because he found out Candace took the money, and, you know, Erica was coming down the stairs and stuff. I don't really count that for a couple of reasons, due to the fact that Jim wasn't in his right mind. It wasn't a well-lit room. So, you know, plus he was thinking about other things. He wasn't really thinking about this quote-unquote horror. So, with that being said, I feel like the Jim and Erica thing was wasted potential. I mean, I feel like Tyler Perry could have did the whole pregnancy thing, which while would have been an intriguing storyline, wouldn't make sense in the grand scheme of things, especially if you know, David knew who Erica really was. I mean, that could have either made the story better or worse, whatever. The whole scenario of Erica being killed off regardless, the fact that she wasn't getting any money, I don't think she would have. I mean, that's just my opinion. The fact that the Jim and Erica storyline went nowhere, which was sad. I really thought Tyler Perry was going to do something with that. And there was a clip from an episode. I forgot the name of the episode, but what is it? Hurricane Veronica, when she gave that speech to Erica. This was back in, I think, February 2017. I want to play a bit of the clip here. I was actually going through old clips on YouTube. You know how the OWN YouTube page has various clips from different episodes of pretty much every show they air. And I came across the Hurricane Veronica, came up and recommended, so I decided to watch it. And Veronica told us last year what would happen to Erica. It wouldn't just be a simple death. She literally says, you know, I think the wording was, you know, the sad part, it's easier for it's much easier for an unattractive woman to lose her looks.
You are very, very pretty. And that's sad. It's unfortunate, actually, because it's always easier for an unattractive woman to lose her looks.
I mean, and then when you compare Erica in that speech that Veronica gave her to the Erica, or excuse me, the threat that Veronica gave her to the actual way that she looked after the explosion, safe to say Veronica's warnings and threats, she say what you want about Veronica, but that bitch delivers. That bitch delivers. And the Erica we saw at the ending of The Road to Hell, sorry, there's a motorcycle in the parking lot. Hate when that happens. But yeah, the Erica we saw at the end of The Road to Hell really demonstrates that she truly did lose her looks. Like, people talk about Michael Jackson's plastic surgery and whatnot. At least he was still somebody who was not too sore on the eyes, so to speak. But, you know, when you compare, like, you know, Thriller era to, or like Off the Wall era Michael to, you know, the This Is It Michael, obviously some differences, but not to the extent of we have this lovely Erica to the Tales of the Crypt looking. And let me just say this. I think one of my favorite look, she has looked amazing in dresses, but I think one of my favorite looks for Erica was the outfit she was wearing when Veronica was in her hotel room threatening her, especially in this photo right here. This is probably my favorite Erica like shot from the entire series. Like, once again, she has had some amazing photo ops, if you will, different outfits, but for me, I don't know, maybe it's because her, you know, thighs, okay, now I sound like a darn dog, but damn it, she looks good. So, you know, Brett Davis, aka Mitch Malone, you're a lucky guy, man, lucky guy. I'm not a hater, but I just think that, you know, and this goes to show we really need to pay attention to the things these characters are saying, because just like the whole situation where Brad threatened Randall in the shed that night, saying that, you know, when I was in the army, I've killed before, and I said that I would never do, you know, malicious acts like that again. But he said he wouldn't mind dragging Alex and Randall out to the shed, doing stuff to him, and, you know, pretty much ending them. And that was said like 2 years our time before those two were caught in the shed on fire. So just saying, guys, we really need to pay attention to the dialogue of these characters. And another thing I forgot to mention is, you know, I really wish we got more backstory as to why Erica hates Candace. I mean, one of my biggest videos from back in the day was why does Erica hate Candace so much? You know, I theorized about maybe it's because Candy Cane was one of her favorites. One of Warlock's favorites. Maybe it's because of how Candace treated her when she was her bottom hoe bitch or whatever. We really don't. Same thing with Jennifer Stallison being killed off before her time. I really feel like more should have been done with the character in terms of learning more about her and David's past. So many things like that. So overall, I feel like Erica's character still had room for expansion, but maybe because it was known, I don't know, I don't really know about things behind the scenes, she was killed off before anything else could be expounded upon. Like, the big question is, will David ever find out about who Erica truly was? Or, you know, well, yeah, I say was because she's dead now. I wonder how Rocky's going to react to this, because remember, he was the one that tried to warn her, and remember, he told RK that he would do something to Candace. But remember, it seemed like I wouldn't say had a crush on Erica. I feel like, you know, they were running in the same circle, you know, so he tried to extend an olive branch, but she decided to stick to where she is now, and we saw how that turned out. And plus, he knows that Candace and Veronica were conspiring against her, so I really think that that's probably going to elevate his plans. I don't know if he's going to get Broderick involved. That would be very interesting, but I feel like Broderick's going to be more focused on Captain Cryer. But if anything, I feel like the character of Erica could have been done a little bit better. Not to say that she was bad at all. I mean, this final season, she really didn't do much of anything. So, I mean, there was even a point in the show after Veronica told Candace about how paranoid David is about stuff, Candace legitimately told Erica, don't do anything. Just stay there, you know, play things up, but don't do anything. So when one of the characters literally tells you not to do anything, then that character literally doesn't do anything except, you know, looks good around the house, which I'm not mad at. So yeah, but overall, you know, I feel that Tyler Perry did what he had to do. And remember, you know, this is very interesting because Erica was only supposed to be in like 3 episodes selling Benny the car back in like what, season 3, but then she was brought back with an expanded story. But I mean, we don't know who her father was. We know he was a pastor. Apparently she has some kids that she left with her parents. So will they show back up into the story? Who knows? Will David find out the truth about Erica? Who knows? But I hope I pronounced the name right. Priscilla. Is it Priscilla? She is a wonderful person to follow on social media. I love her. Her and Brett Davis, aka Mitch, have become much more active on social media, especially Instagram. So I'll leave links to their Instagram in the description below. I suggest following them just because it's always cool to show our support to these cast members on and off of the show. So even when they've been killed off, keep an eye out because they might be in like a TV show or movie that you'll be watching in the near future. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Erica's character was killed off too soon? Do you feel like I do in the fact that Tyler Perry really could have expanded the character? Because I do feel like there was uncharted avenues or, you know, unexplored, you know, roads for Erica's character in the story. Because when you really think about it, maybe Erica was killed off because Gia became the new Erica, somebody for Candace to boss around, slap around, make googly eyes at Benny as a distraction. Remember, Erica was brought in to sell the car to Benny, and it looked like those two might have had something going on at some point. And then you have Gia distracting Benny with googly eyes. Well, damn, I mean, with Benny being the way he is now, I'm surprised him and Erica didn't do it at one point. Then that would have made Warlock even more pissed off and more liable to kill him, not just because Candace lied to him about the money. But I digress. So with that being said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Best of luck to Priscilla in her future acting endeavors, and I'll talk to you all soon.